Hello, my astral projectors. Now, start from the beginning. If you already know how to meditate, like clear your mind and focus on your breathing, first you want to know how to do that. And then start with the sensory meditations. These are the first ones I started with. One of the first ones, and they're very important for different reasons. One, you need to have all your astral senses if you're gonna cross over to the astral realm, spirit realm, whatever. And so, what are the sensory meditations? What's your five senses? See, smell, touch, smelling, and tasting. So start with 5 minutes with each of them. And for the vision, you want to imagine any kind of object, and you want to imagine it in your mind until it's like crystal clear in your mind. Well, try to do it as best you can. And try to notice every little detail and imagine every little detail and hold that picture in your mind as best you can. And then go on to the hearing. It could be anything. Imagine that you're hearing bells or raindrops or the shower running. Anything. It could be anything. Just keep the thought that you're really imagining the sound of it as best you can. And do the same with taste and smell. Like I said, start out with each of them for 5 minutes. It could be any kind of smell or taste. And then the touch and feeling. It could be anything. Like imagine that you're walking on sand and you want to imagine the feeling of the sand, warm sand or wet sand on your feet. Or if you're imagine that you're standing in cold beach water, you want to imagine that as best you can. Now, these are very important. You may not think so. Everyone wants to see, people that I talk to, seems like they just want to astral project, come out of their body, but they don't want to put any work in it. Like if you go to college and be a doctor, you got to do your prerequisites first and do med school first. You can't just do it, unless you're a natural, which is pretty rare. And what was I about to say? So when you feel like you mastered that, you're gonna want to eat like each of them for 5 minutes. You want to take it up a notch. Now, I know this could be hard. Start trying to imagine, 2 senses at one time, or 3 and 4, and until you could get to 5. Like, here's an example for all 5, Imagine that you're surfing and you're seeing the water and you're seeing the water, the wave, and the bottom of your surfboard. That's vision. And hearing at the same time. Imagine that you're hearing like seagulls or birds chirping, and hearing strong wind and something like that, And taste, you could imagine at the same time that salt water is splashing into your mouth and you're tasting that, and smelling the salt water, like the ocean water also. So there's four. Try to get at the same time. The fifth one would be feeling touch. Imagine that you're feeling the wind against you and feeling the water drops come up and hit you, and feeling the touch of your feet on the surfboard. That's an example for all five. And but first, like I said, after you mastered one at a time, and you feel like you have, then start with two, and then 3, 4, 5. So that's an example. I think you get what I'm saying, and you want to be able to master that too. And then there's the next one that I'll explain later.